school and get it. What do you think is going to happen?
Lose respect.
Loss of respect, loss of trust.
They're going to resent you because you're not trying to help others.
I'm setting up resentment.
They're not going to come to you and
I am breaking down, if I had any ties of relationships, I'm breaking those quickly right now. And it took just 1 to 2 to 3 seconds of my comment. If you noticed, and Ms. Betty probably will say this, I actually started off positive, didn't I? So, tell me, I noticed the notebook was open and you didn't have your homework. A lot of us, unfortunately, have to train ourselves to do that and make a conscious effort to do that, because 9 times out of 10 when I go into a classroom and you were not intentional by any means, you didn't do your homework. You didn't do your homework. You didn't do your homework. See me after class. And they just move on with the content. Because right now, content, unfortunately, in our society is important, right? I'm here to tell you what everybody doesn't really want to realize sometimes is that the content comes later. It is that relationship with the child that has to be built first. Okay? So we're going to talk about relationships. How many of you are, I hope we started a bandwagon of getting these books into your programs. Anybody familiar with Love and Logic and Jim Fay? No, Miss Bandy. Oh my goodness. Okay, well we're going to work on that. We're going to work on that. If you invest any amount of money, $12 to $13, find it on eBay, even cheaper. If you can't, call me. I will buy the book for you as a gift. This book, even after 19 years, I found it about 6 years ago. It is my Bible. It is my Bible on building relationships and classroom management. For example, if I come up to this young lady and say, wow, that's a beautiful blue blouse. She may already be in a rotten mood and say, I could care less what color you like, right? Or I might come up and say, wow, I love those shoes. And you go, yeah, well, I hate them. Right? Okay? It's not about what I believe in that person. It's not whether I like it. I'm not going to pass judgment. Jim Fay says we just need to notice things. And he gives us a challenge. And one of the challenges in this book, Teaching with Love and Logic, is the I Noticed challenge. He asks you to come up to the most challenging child in the entire school. Okay? It doesn't have to be your classroom. It could be another teacher's child. It could be another staff member. Okay? And just come up and say, I noticed you like UNC. What do you think about it? They probably played a pretty good game the other night, didn't they? Alright? And move on. And the next day, that's all you say to them. And the next day you come up and say, I noticed that every day at lunch you choose pizza. You must really like pizza, huh? Say anything else. And go on. And you keep doing that every day. You challenge yourself to find something that you notice that you are not personally invested in. All of a sudden, that child is going to come up or wake up and say, I'll put on my Air Jordans today and see if Miss Bear notices those. Or, look, I have an A on my paper, or I made a C on my paper. I wonder if she knows that I went from a D to a C this week. Alright? He's starting, or she, the student, is starting to think about what you notice about them that is positive or good, and you are starting to build a rapport with even the most difficult child. So again, real quickly, we have strong-willed, stubborn, downright defiant kids. I would love to see everyone in the world have a copy of this. That might be one of my big donations to the world one day.
And I have a copy of it in my office. Come see.
Yep. We're going to work with LR to do that.
Okay.
Why Love and Logic? It puts teachers in control. And so many of the new teachers come into the profession and you hear our teachers go, oh, these kids are so out of control these days, or they just want to take control of the classroom. Love and Logic skills that you instill in yourself actually puts teachers in control in. It teaches kids to think for themselves. Instead of saying, how many times have I said go walk through that door, not run, right? It raises the level of student responsibility. Who doesn't want responsible students in their classrooms, right? What parent doesn't want or wouldn't agree to say, wow, yeah, I want my child to be responsible versus, gosh, I don't want you doing this. I don't want my child responsible. There's not a parent in the world that's going to tell you that they don't want a responsible child. It prepares kids to function effectively in a society filled with temptations, decisions, and consequences. Love and Logic helps educators, administrators, and counselors. So there's actually a Love and Logic book that is for a school culture, not just your classroom. So if you really get invested in it and you like the concept, then I would suggest you talk to your administrator about it. It sets limits in the classroom without anger, provides underachievers hope and willingness when the things going gets tough. It raises the odds for kids to stay in school. It builds strong connections between home and school. It improves attendance, manages disruptive kids, makes teaching and learning more fun and productive, immediately handles disruptive students, get and keep students' attention, builds positive student-teacher relationships. That is my bottom line. Helps students own and solve their own problems, and it helps bully-proof children diffuse power struggles and handle difficult people. There's 4 principles to Love and Logic. Share control. Consider it cooperation. We either give it or they take it. And I'm just going to tell you human nature, and Miss Bandy knows this. In a classroom, when you have a child that is identified as oppositional defiant, or they've learned some of those characteristics, you can say, you're going to do your math now. What are they going to tell you? I'm not. You say, oh yeah, you are. This is math time, and you're going to do math now. Get out your book. What's going to happen? Okay. I said, get out your book and open to, are they getting out their book? I'm getting it out. Who is controlling who? You're controlling me because I'm escalating and you notice it, right? Absolutely. So, I can't make you do anything. Can't. You can't make any of your students do a thing.